Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
Hi everyone, thank you all for joining our Innovation Day 3 on distribution. I'm very happy to have you all here today, or at least to have you all behind your screen. Today's event will touch base on how this part of the innovation of the insurance distribution is evolving. As you know, insurance distribution is dominated by in-person sales made through agents and brokers. However, this model has been challenged in the recent years with COVID-19 that has changed the way to interact with customers and has accelerated the digital transformation of distribution. I'm Arthur Bessière, Venture Associate within the insurtech of Plug and Play, and I will be moderating today's event together with Penni, Venture Analyst also at Plug and Play. First, let's look at the agenda for today. As you can see on the screen, the event will be structured around one fireside chat with 2 industry experts, and then 3 innovation topics. For each of those topics, we will present you some trends that we have seen in the market, and then we will have startup pitches. Let's look at the startup. Today, we are very happy to have 8 amazing startup pitching coming from all over the world, from the US, UK, France, Spain, Denmark, and Israel. Each of the startups will pitch, and at the end of their pitch, you will have a pop-up on your screen asking you if you want to get connected to the startup. This is quite important because at the end of the event, we will collect all of this information and make the appropriate connection. Also, you will have the opportunity to ask questions during this event, and we want the event to be as participative as possible. So please make use of the Q&A features of Zoom to ask questions. Now, a little bit about us. I know that behind your screen, some of you are already very familiar with what Plug and Play does. However, I will do a little reminder. At Plug and Play, we have one specific goal, which is to help the world progress through innovation and connection, because we truly believe this is the way forward. And to do so, we position ourselves as an innovation platform, which is quite a broad term, but it's because we have 3 different pillars of activity. The first one is the accelerator program. So every year, we run over 60 industry-focused accelerator programs in over 40 cities globally. As you can see on this slide, we cover 18 different industries, all the way from animal health to sustainability, energy, mobility, and so on. And today's event is part of one of our insurtech programs. Those programs take place all over the world. Indeed, we have 57 offices to better serve our partners locally as well as globally. Now, if we look more specifically at the insurtech programs that take place in 5 locations in the US, with our Silicon Valley office, which is also our headquarters, in Europe with Munich, and then in Asia with Beijing, Singapore, and Tokyo. Our second pillar is our corporate innovation activity. So every year, we supercharge the innovation of over 530 industry-leading corporations by always keeping them at the forefront of industry trends. You can see on the slide a short pick of our partners. And if we focus a bit more specifically into insurtech in Munich, we are very lucky to have 13 amazing partners that you can see at the top of the slide. Finally, our last pillar of activity is the venture capital. And every year, we invest in over 250 companies alongside the world-based VC. And I have to say, we have been quite successful in doing that. As you can see on this slide that presents you the 25 unicorn of our portfolio of investment. I'm sure that you are quite familiar with some of the startup on the slide. Finally, if I have to sum all of this up, what we try to do at Plug and Play is to provide a turnkey infrastructure for corporation and startup to strive together. So I hope this gave you a good understanding of what we do at Plug and Play. Happy to take up any question after the event if you have some. But now it's time for our Fireside chat, and I will pass it over to Kieran, our head of UK, that will present you our two amazing panelists that we have today. Kieran, are you here?
I'm here, Arthur. Arthur, thank you so much for the introduction. Really excited to hear the startup pitches today. So welcome everybody on the call to the distribution Fireside chats. As Arthur mentioned, my name is Kieran Barrett, and I'm part of the Plug and Play's UK team. Now, today we're very, very excited to have two scholars of the insurtech space with us today. So please allow me to just introduce them briefly. So our first guest that we have today is Ritwik Samsi. Now, Ritwik heads up the M&A division for ipitQ. ipitQ is a division of Swiss Re, which provides customers with consumer insurance products for life, health, home, and auto. They work with over 45 distribution partners in the US and Europe and have over 1 million policy holders. Ritwik, welcome.
Thanks, Kieran. Glad to be on this chat. Yeah,
really great to have you here. Thanks, Ritwik. So the next panelist that we have today, again, a panelist that many of you may well know from the insurtech ecosystem, we have Andrew Johnston. Hi, Andrew. So Andrew is Gallagher Re's head of global insurtech. Andrew sits in Gallagher Re's central management team and leads the charge on researching and engaging with emerging markets, specifically focused on global insurtech developments, disruptive technologies, sharing economy, and cyber. Now, prior to joining Gallagher Re, Andrew set up Willis Towers Watson's insurtech division, and he is the editor of the Willis Towers Watson quarterly insurtech reports that we know and love, and definitely encourage you to read those reports. Andrew, nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Kieran.
Yeah, great to have you with us. So very lucky to have two great panelists. We have about 20 minutes or so a short amount of time. For those of you in the audience, please do use the Q&A if you have live questions for Ritwik and Andrew. We'll try to read them, live and get those questions answered. So insurance distribution, loads going on in this space. So really pleased to talk with you guys here. Now, maybe we can start broad first of all, and we can begin with you, Andrew, and really, maybe you could just describe to us, what does distribution mean within the context of Gallagher Re? And really, what are some of the things that are important to you as a business and you're focusing on?
Thanks, Kieran. Yeah, I mean, it's in some ways one of the most important parts of our business, and that's really to share risk around capital markets, and distribution is implicit in that, and we support risk originating businesses, typically insurance companies, MGAs, and in some cases reinsurers themselves. We analyze their book of business that they want to seize, and then we find capital from reinsurance regulated markets to support their growth and development, and ultimately try and share that risk around so that, God forbid that there was a systemic event, that the downside protection for insurance companies was in place to make sure that no business was lost. And obviously the lifeblood of creating that business in the first place for those insurance companies comes either from direct sales or through intermediaries like ourselves. Obviously, Gallagher, certainly in North America, has a huge retail and wholesale broking division. But part of that is also bringing innovative products to our clients as well, to help them sell, to help them understand price, to help them understand how they can be better with certain demographics or in certain markets. But like I said, to my earlier point, it's kind of one of the real pillars of what we do.
Yeah, that's great to know, and I'm sure we'll be able to discuss much more about what's going on at Gallagher as well in this conversation. And we also have Ritwik with us. So Ritwik, it'd be great to just understand a bit more about ipitQ, and how you guys are thinking about distribution.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, we're a B2B2C insurtech. We're wholly owned by Swiss Re. Our strategy is really to find distribution partners and work with them globally. So we're active in US, Europe, and now Asia as well. And for us, it's about finding the right partners, finding the innovations in distribution, working with them, at times investing with them, into them, and really growing together. So I think for us, given we are not a last mile in terms of distribution, we keep a very close eye on it because we want to find the right partners and grow rapidly and quickly with them. So distribution is key for ipitQ's growth. We are purely personal lines focused, so we're really focused on the end consumer, and so we're really looking for partners in that space.
Yeah, we've got two good perspectives here. Of course, Ritwik, ipitQ on the personal lines, and then Andrew much more on the commercial side and on the reinsurance side. So it'd be interesting to see how the trends and innovations in the distribution space differ between those quite different lines of business. Maybe we can begin on just the topic of data very quickly. Data is obviously important throughout the insurance value chain. We've got some of the data startups presenting after this fireside. But Ritwik, how is data being used, and specifically how can it be used in that distribution process, and of course how are brokers leveraging data to broker risk more efficiently?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, well, I mean, data is data is the new sort of cutting edge, right? And I think these days it's about finding the right cohorts of insurance customers who you want to target. So I think we've seen many innovative insurance companies figuring out which cohorts are more likely to buy, which cohorts are likely to not buy. It's important to know both, and therefore really being focused in that specific sector and specific cohort, and having a strategy around each cohort of customers. So I think slicing and dicing that data and actually using the analytics behind it to find out what customers are really looking for is important, and for us as well. So I think for us, it is finding those partners who know how to slice and dice, giving us that transparency of what they've done, and then for us to then therefore price that risk efficiently. So I think data really goes hand in hand with respect to that.
Absolutely. And I mean, and maybe Andrew, on the commercial risk side of things, of course, brokers have been using data for forever.
Yeah.
Are there new ways that they're using data in, I don't know, maybe more automated ways, for instance?
Of course, and to reiterate that point, I mean, we have been using data forever, and the insurance industry orbits around numbers and data. And I think just a sort of cautionary tale before we continue is that we do run the risk sometimes of data for data's sake, and I think that data should be seen as the currency that fuels everything else that we do, right? So for data to be successful, or for data to have the impact that we want it to have, we still need to have a clearly defined destination or a clearly defined outcome for what we want as it relates to processes, outcomes, decisions, that kind of thing. And I do think we're at a tipping point at the moment of getting it wrong, because I think that there are just so many companies that are just dumping data into the industry without any kind of context or augmentation, and that can actually make the challenge more difficult, because ultimately we're trying to sell, ultimately we're working on a kind of renewal type basis. But if I can make a very sort of generalized comment about commercial insurance, generally speaking, is less price sensitive than personal lines. And we're seeing in personal lines an increased automation powered by data of products and price being put in front of end consumers and sold directly. And I think that where we see technology supporting distribution on that side, it's really getting these kind of products in front of people in a very quick, nice way that reduces some of the antiquated processes of old. Commercial is a bit more complicated in that buyers of commercial insurance are generally speaking less price sensitive, and they're far more interested in coverage and actually understanding the underlying risk. And a lot of very sophisticated commercial insurance buyers themselves have a very clear view of what they think that risk is. And so what you're using data and automation and technology to do is to actually empower the humans that are making those decisions on behalf of their clients or supporting their clients, which is why you need to have a very sort of transparent relationship with people. And I think the best examples of success that we've seen in the commercial space has been those types of data automation or data processes that support underwriters that really understand certain classes of business, or that support brokers who really understand certain classes of business, and then can make decisions, like I say, on behalf of themselves or clients. And then from a business processing perspective, obviously better use of data to track deals, to understand price changes, to understand market changes, so that we can compare year-on-year differentials, to try and use historical evidence as some kind of forecasting tool for what might happen in the future. And I think data obviously can play a huge role there. But to my earlier point, I mean, data for data's sake is kind of a dangerous game. So we still need to understand the underlying core of what we're trying to achieve as it relates to commercial goals.
No, absolutely. And then you mentioned something on the personal lines front, how products can be maybe a bit more personalized and price sensitive. Ritwik, one of the big trends we have been seeing, over the last few years is of course the trend towards automated quote and bind. Of course, data is crucial for this process. You guys at ipitQ are doing loads in this front. Maybe you can just briefly start by just what is quote and bind,
Yeah, a topic very close to my heart. So I think you described it appropriately. So it is really personalized quoting and selling of personalized products for the end consumer. And I think we're seeing a lot of innovation in this space. I would say this is probably the most innovative space in distribution in the personal line space, where you're getting digital agents, you're getting, I think the use of data is probably the highest in this space. For us at ipitQ, what we are doing in this space is we're not just an investor, we're also a builder in this space. So we've invested in a company called Bindable in PNC in the US. We've also started our own quote and bind agency business, which we've then bolstered by an acquisition, AccuQuote. And I think what we're trying to do there really is, being a B2B2C, we realize that a lot of our partners, especially our ecosystem partners, don't have the capabilities to create these personalized quotes, to be able to explain to customers. I mean, everyone thinks digital means, everything's done online and there's no human involvement. Actually, the human involvement is actually key. And we find that a lot of transactions happen when you want to talk to someone before you buy a life insurance policy, something that's life-changing for you, and I think having that agent at the other end and making that entire journey smooth. So it's the agent's journey, it's the customer's journey, and making that a very smooth journey. That's what our goal is. That's what that's the real goal of quote and bind, in my view, and that's where we're trying to innovate. Absolutely.
And Ritwik, I mean, you mentioned Bindable there. What is it about those companies that sort of was the catalyst for you guys going in and investing in the company?
I mean, we loved their technology. It was great. They had a virtual agency model as well, which was very scalable. I think a combination, and it was really formed by people who knew insurance very well, ex-insurance executives. So they knew what they were doing. They had very purposefully built the technology around that. Same with AccuQuote. AccuQuote's also another company, but we just acquired. They understand insurance, but they also understand technology, and I think that's key for us. You need to have a good combination of the two.
Absolutely, and definitely encourage people to take a look at some of the work ipitQ are doing in this space. Lots of interesting things, on quote and bind. Andrew, is quote and bind going to come? So automated quote and bind going to come to maybe commercial? Or maybe the SME commercial first?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it already, Kieran. So in Lloyd's, you've got Aegis's Opal, which is a quote and bind issue platform for things like wind deductible and that kind of thing. And a number of different Lloyd's syndicates do have quoting, binding, issuing functionality, where you then look to areas like North America to distribute those products where they may not be so readily available. But there is a degree, and Wick touched on it, where you then want to talk to somebody, whether it's an emotional purchase or an expensive purchase or a complicated purchase. And again, quote bind issuing in the right environment is an absolute game changer. We have seen it pushed into parts of the business where I think it's underestimated just how much a sort of tactile face-to-face human relationship is still wanted. And I don't think that's just necessarily class of business. I'm sure most of this people on the call are extremely technologically savvy and expect things a certain way, but to what percentage do we represent the insurance buying market? It's probably still in the minority, right? Most people buying insurance are probably still 40, 50, 60 years plus, and they still want to do things in a certain way. So the evolution needs to happen at a sort of pace that represents the underlying purchasing behavior of who wants to buy. But to your original question, yes, we are seeing certain cases of QBI in commercial space.
And maybe we do have a question talking about, is it possible to predict the distribution? I'm assuming that's distribution of losses. I guess, we probably shouldn't go into that question on this call. I guess it really depends on frequency, ultimately, and data availability. But maybe Andrew, staying on you, similar to Quote and Bind, I mean, there's some synergies. What about if we move into, the marketplaces? We're starting to, we have seen over the last 5-6 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
Many startups popping up, providing marketplaces, trying to match, risk with capacity.
Yeah.
What are your views on that? I mean, as a broker.
Well, I mean, as a broker, they're obviously of extreme interest, and they certainly do pique our interest. And I track this particular space very closely. And I think there's something like 45 businesses, Kieran, globally that are sort of contemporaneously trying to be in this space. And intellectually, it makes a lot of sense, right? How can we find the right technology or the right environment to match risk with capacity or capital in the most efficient way? And I think everybody in the industry can agree that that is a very noble thing to want to try and achieve. I think where the current marketplaces, and this is again a big generalization, but where the current marketplaces have kind of fallen down is that they have focused their efforts on things like price discovery as the pain point that brokers have, which is invariably not the pain point that brokers have, actually. And trying to find capacity is so much more complicated than price. And I think that with every marketplace coming into this space, you end up having kind of the opposite effect of what most of them want, which is to create this sort of Switzerland-like environment where everybody can come and trade. But that only really works if you have 1, 2, maybe 3 max marketplaces. If there are 45, then you're kind of undermining the whole purpose of what you want to achieve. And, underwriters don't want to have to become au fait with 45 different systems. Brokers don't want to become au fait with 45 different kinds of systems. And the functionality has really got to solve for problems that brokers, markets, and underwriters have. And I don't think that the current cohort of marketplaces as they are quite there yet. But I think that it's definitely a space to track. I think that some people are trying to do some very ambitious things, and there's some very ambitious capabilities on some of the platform environments within the marketplace space. But my long-term view, and I would say what I'm about to say, but my long-term view is that this kind of thing has got to be incubated within the deal flow. So it's got to be incubated within one of the major brokers or a collection of major brokers. And that's not to say that we can't work with third parties, but I think unless you have deal flow, you're looking at the kind of technology scrap heap as your future. And that really is my kind of ultimate view on the marketplace evolution.
It's a collaboration between some of the the big,
so
essentially.
I think it's got to be, Kieran.
Yeah, it makes sense given the dictation of the deal flow, as you mentioned. But Ritwik, I guess it's a little bit different, and we have seen some traction on the on the consumer personal lines side.
Yeah, I mean, you do see marketplaces, in terms of that in the consumer side. But again, I think, just like Andrew points, I think you see some of that risk distribution, MGAs trying to get into this space and trying to, find multiple risk sources. So I think it's more common, but it's there isn't a market leader, I would say. it's again an area where ipitQ we're exploring what we can, how we can add value here. So I think watch the space, but again, it's a growing area. I don't think it's really matured in the same way, maybe just quote and bind distribution has. Yeah.
Again, audience, if you do have questions, feel free to write in the Q&A. We've not got too long left, and we've got a massive topic to cover still. Embedded insurance. Again, it must have been the insurtech trend of 2021, maybe 2020. Embedded insurance, Ritwik, it seems to be sort of the front and center of everything that ipitQ is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to give you some stats, we think embedded insurance, and not just we, a lot of industry experts also predict this. Embedded insurance within retail space in personal line space is going to double or more than double by 2030. Today, it counts for about 5% of the entire market. We think it's sort of 11 to 15% is where we think the prediction goes. Most execs of insurance companies are watching the space very carefully. I think consumers are really getting into this thinking as well. I don't need to buy insurance from an insurance company. I can buy insurance from someone else. Right. So whether you're traveling and you buy from your travel website that you book your trip on, whether you buy your phone insurance from your phone provider rather than actually buying it separately, I think those are probably the two areas which have progressed the most. But we see that progressing everywhere else. We have a lot of partners in this area. We work with IKEA, we work with Daimler. It's really one of the top focus areas. I think for me, when I think about what will happen, what makes this space exciting, I think one is, the trust that you have in some of the partners, consumer brands is much higher than is in insurance companies. So people trust consumer brands much more than they trust insurance companies. And I think that trust drives volume. It drives people towards those channels to buy insurance. And I think for us, from an ipitQ perspective, it's really about having the product, having that geography reach. And then the third thing, and very importantly, is being around, right? We're part of Swiss Re. There's a trust factor between an ecosystem and ipitQ, because they know that we'll be around and we'll make sure that their customers are served in the most appropriate manner. And so I think embedded is we think the future, and that's where we are spending a lot of time.
It's incredibly interesting. And I mean, Andrew, do you see this trend of embedded insurance, crossing into, the SME space, even the commercial risk space, with things like, IoT and, embedded insurance into buying your machinery for a factory, etc.?
Yeah, I don't know if it would necessarily extend to that particular example, but I can certainly see, as we see a proliferation of what I call sort of the digital CFO software. So I think Intuit, anything where you can do sort of like a tax return. I think that if you're a small commercial business, there's undoubtedly an opportunity, when you're filing your taxes, to then be offered a product that reflects the demographic nature of your business. I can totally see that happening. Do I think that Shell are going to start selling oil rig insurance to their captives digitally? I don't think so. So there's definitely, there's definitely an area. But I think it will be for businesses that are attracted to that kind of digital CFO type area. So probably businesses that don't necessarily have an accountant on staff. So perhaps businesses with 25 people or less. I can absolutely see an opportunity for embedded.
No, absolutely. Now we are running out of time. 20 minutes is not a lot of time to talk about such a topic. I mean, Andrew, what are you looking forward to? What do you see coming in the topic of distribution, in 2022 and beyond, especially what's super important for Gallagher, your business's distribution ultimately?
I think there's a combination, Kieran, of working with businesses who have got really comprehensive and cutting edge white label products that our clients can sell on topics that are quite gnarly. So things like cyber and IP and ESG, where we can actually help the market get comfortable with some preloaded capacity. I think also just strengthening the role of the human. And I am very pro-human in all this. And I think that it's so easy to sort of just assume that we want to take people out, but I don't think we do. I mean, there is so much expertise, so much geographical knowledge, so much business knowledge with people in the industry that to simply, usurp them with technology is not the right way to go. I think we should be empowering these people to focus on better understanding their clients, better relationships, spending more time trying to forecast the future or improve products, and let technology really kind of take control of things like the menial, rote, almost redundant type roles to free people's time up. But our industry is predicated on distribution, and I think that we're in a really exciting space right now.
Yeah. And Ritwik, what about for you and ipitQ, the next few years? What's the exciting things coming down the funnel?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I think some of the points we just touched upon, so embedded, clearly a great focus for us. Marketplace, a real focus area. I think one headwind we're seeing in distribution, and we should always talk about headwinds, is lead gen, right? I think those costs are going up significantly for our partners. And the landscape is changing. I mean, I was talking to a partner, a month ago, and they used to run TV ads, and now it's all about Facebook, digital, and trying to get some generate lead gens from there. So I think those costs are going up, and folks who can innovate and find ways to reduce customer acquisition costs, I think that's the innovative partners that we're looking for as well. So I think those are the three sort of key focus areas, if you may.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you, Ritwik. Thank you, Andrew, for your time. 20 minutes has absolutely flown by. There are a few questions and comments in the Q&A in the chat. You guys feel free to answer them, or we can take those away and have you answer them separately. At this point, thanks once again, and I will hand back over to Artur because we're about to kick off our first set of startups.
Thanks, Kieran.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew and Ritwik again. It was very insightful, and I'm sure that the audience really enjoy your conviction and vision on the future of distribution. But this is not the time for our first innovation trend, and I will pass it over to my colleague Daria for this part. Daria, you here?
Yes, I'm right here. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Arthur, for the introduction. So as Arthur already mentioned, now we will continue our presentation going more into depth into some trends that are reshaping the insurance distribution. So our first topic, as you can notice from the slide, will be around data and digital tools for the insurance sales force. So we can start from a statement. So first of all, the insurance sales force need to evolve and adapt in order to stay relevant. Indeed, while traditional insurance distribution is still dominated by in-person sales made by agents and brokers, we also have to acknowledge that distribution is progressively digitalizing. Especially, as you probably all know, when COVID-19 came, it challenged the status quo also from that perspective. And for this reason, traditional in-person interactions are not the norm anymore, due to the fact that customer behavior is evolving and digital channels are empowered at the same time. So this leads us to three key questions for the insurance sales force that we will try to answer throughout this event. So first of all, how can they remain relevant to customers, even if there are fewer physical interactions and if their expectations are evolving? Second question, what new channels need to be used to reach customers? And then lastly, how do we make the best use of newly available data in order to maximize the efficiency of agents and brokers? So those challenges are having a structural impact on the day-to-day activity of the insurance sales force. And we have identified 6 key impacts on their activity. So on one side, they need the use of these new communication channels in order to interact with their customers. They also have access to new digital tools to facilitate the use of those new digital channels. Moreover, some of their former tasks are getting automated, and this gives them more time to focus on value-added activities. Moreover, they also have access to more and more data on their customers and prospects. At the same time, their customer expectations are evolving and they're shifting more towards simplicity, flexibility, and digital interaction. And there is more and more competition from new tech-based competitors. So since we have the advantage of being at the intersection between startups on one side and corporations on the others, we have been able to, let's say, leverage this unique position in order to identify 5 key usages of digital tools for the insurance sales force. So first of all, insurance players are using those digital tools in order to improve sales force effectiveness through front desk automation using tech such as NLP, OCR, VoiceBot, and e-signature. They can also better understand customers' needs using analytics-derived insights on customers. Moreover, they have been able to segment customers more accurately, and indeed digital tools could identify homogeneous customer clusters using data and providing real-time customer segmentation for the sales force. Insurance players are also using a database approach in order to push relevant products to relevant customers at the most relevant time. And finally, insurance players are using digital tools to predict future opportunities and risks that will allow the sales team to maximize both cross-sells, but also upsell opportunities-based algorithms. So as a use case for this section here, we propose the collaboration between Willis Towers Watson and Relatively 6. So Willis Towers is our PMP Global Anchor partner and was looking for solutions to increase retention and to better understand their SME customer segment. And they found a good fit with Relatively 6, which was able to better predict customer churn and provide recommendations. So now we will have finally pitches from 3 startups that focus on new data and digital tools for the sales force. So let's start with Broker Insights, which has built a platform that matches risk with capacity based on data insights. So I'll leave the floor to Ian, the EVP of the company. Ian, if you're there, the floor is yours. You can share your screen now and start with the presentation. Are you there?
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, can't see my video, but I can try and share my screen with you. Okay, well, hi, thanks for having me, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to pitch Broker Insights to you guys. I'll try and cover this off in 5 minutes. I've got some slides here to go through, and I wish I'd put the word regional brokers in there, have a listen to Andrew a bit, because Andrew's sort of up there in the national space. But so who are Broker Insights? We're a rapidly scaling insurtech that has the potential to transform global commercial insurance market in our eyes. Fraser Edmund and myself left Aviva. We both just worked in Aviva for 25 years each. We both left 4 years ago. We had fairly senior roles where we looked to be identified an opportunity in the commercial marketplace and wanted to explore that. So what was the problem? The commercial market is actually driven by the brokers due to its complexity. Most SMEs and businesses go to a broker to get advice and to place their business. But it's outdated and it's inefficient with limited technology investment and poor information flow. The commercial insurance sales and distribution model, it lacks visibility of the brokers. So the insurers can't really see who the broker's customers are until it's placed, because the broker owns that customer. But the broker lacks clarity of the insurer's appetite as well, because it's, you know, that it changes, it adapts, that the BDMs that are out there don't always get the messages across. So it often results in poor outcomes for the customer. I mean, the current model at the moment is BDMs go in cars, go and see the regional brokers, have conversations. So a lot of the stuff and decisions that are made are purely anecdotal. So what was the solution we came up with? Well, we built a platform, a distribution platform, is how we would describe it. And what we do is we securely take brokers' data and cleanse it and put it onto this platform. On top of the broker's data. What that means is for the first time, brokers can easily understand their business and efficiently find and engage with the best insurers for the customer. Likewise, the insurers for the first time can actually profile the regional market. The insurers can't go out and see all of these brokers. They don't have big enough sales staff to do that. So, you know, most brokers will have, we know that an average regional broker is £5.4 million GWP in size with 62 agencies. So that you can see the problem that's facing there. How can a broker know what 62 different insurers are going to be doing? So basically, we match the broker's clients with the insurer's appetite. And the easiest way to describe it is it's a bit like Tinder for insurance, is that, you know, as a way that we describe it that makes sense to people. It's matchmaking. So what have we done? Key achievements to date. So we launched 3 years ago, and in that 3 years, we've got 8 key leading insurer partners. You'll see them on the right-hand side. They're pretty much all household names. We've since got 164 different brokers signed up to the platform. So that's out of a total of about 2,000 regional brokers in the UK. We've got over £1 billion off the £8 billion GWP that's available in the UK on our platform now in the 3-year period. And the activity is growing and growing, being used all the time as the platform's out there. We've also launched a large broker proposition for some of the bigger guys to present themselves differently to their own insurer partners. And we're now also identifying MGAs to work with that can sweep up some of the nichier type stuff across all these the brokers rather that we work with. So that's what we've done in the 3 years since launch, which is not too bad going, I think. We've got a 13% market share of the regional broker space. That's a 1 billion out of 8 billion comes to 13%, and we're the largest growing broker community in the UK. Just this the other side of Christmas there, we've just raised £6 million in Series A funding, and that's going to be to allow us to grow quicker and faster in the UK, and also to dip our toes into the US market, see where we go there. In the UK, if we keep on going at the rate we're going with, we've got insurer partner pipelines, we've got broker pipelines, large broker and MGA pipelines. Some of that investment money was used to bring 8 new people into the business just at the very start of this year. And the aim is for us to go quicker, go faster, and hopefully get to 5.4 billion instead of 1 billion over the next 5 years. What next on top of this for us is, the UK market, the total UK commercial market is worth about 16 billion. We know that the US market is worth about 170 billion, so 10 times the size of the UK. So we are, and it's pretty much got the same original problem that they don't communicate properly with each other at the regional space. So our aim is to start to go into the US this year, which will be fairly ambitious plans. If we can accelerate the onboarding of the UK SME brokers, get the large broker stuff moving as well in the UK, and expand to the US markets, we've got massive ambitious plans to grow from $1 billion GWP in the platform to 15 billion in the next 5 years. Out with that, there's so much more. Once you get all this data in front of you, there's so many more opportunities that will come to light, such as, what can you do about some of the pricing stuff that was discussed earlier? How could you, can you build better product sets for the regional brokers that allow them to place quicker, faster and easier? Bring new platform participants on go. You might even change the product set. There's nothing to say you couldn't do this for commercial mortgages, as an example. But our aim at the moment is distribution in the commercial market space. And as it scales, insurers and brokers who are not on this platform will start to lose a bit of ability to compete with each other, because the brokers will hope that the brokers will find this as the go-to place to find out where the renewals are best placed in the market. Proposition highlights are fairly simple. We do have the potential to transform the regional global market insurance place, because there's nothing else out there that does this at the moment. So we want to become a dominant marketplace for exchanging policyholder data and an insurance risk appetite. That will transform completely how insurers prospect. They won't need BDMs in cars. They'll be able to go onto the platform and looking for X type of business, and they'll find the go-to place to go to, and it'll enhance how brokers place their business. So we want to become the leading data and analytical provider to the commercial insurance market by leveraging all the different platform scale and the reach that this allows us. So that's as quick as I could go through what we've done in 3 years, hopefully in 5 minutes or so. Questions off the back of that.
Thank you very much, Jan. It was a very comprehensive pitch. So for the audience now, you should have a pop-up on your screen right now asking you if you want to get connected to Broker Insight. You just have to answer this, and then we'll collect all of this info and make the appropriate connection later. Jan, thank you again for the pitch. We will now move towards the next startup. So you can stop sharing, and we will have no Tomer from Gefen Technology. Are you here?
Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Tomer Ben-Ari, and I'm the CEO of Gefen Technologies. So Gefen started 7 years ago to provide insurance agents a full end-to-end platform that imports customer data and machine learns it and acts automatically based on this data and on behalf of the agents within the digital space. Now, why did it even make sense doing that? Well, insurance agents can benefit greatly from automatic customer needs, learning, digital communication with customers, and proactive activity generation, leaving them the time and to focus on customer relationships, sales, and service. So I think like Ritwik and Andrew mentioned before, we keep the human present and provide for the agents all the rest. So we're collecting their customer data and segmenting it, providing them a professional website or a business page to represent them well. We send well-written communication and social awareness to their clients on behalf of them. And finally, we are communicating with their customers digitally, again, on behalf of them. All this is necessary in today's world, and that's actually what the customers, as we see it, expect. Well, however, it is very difficult to accomplish those things alone. To learn from such a big data of customer base that do that all day long, like 24/7 almost, in addition to conclude the right insights, the correct one at the right time. Moreover, to master so many digital skills like SEO and content writing and data learning, and to manage campaigns and lots more, for an agent, they don't have the skills, and it does not pay to do that. It's difficult and expensive. Gefen provides all of that just out of the box. And that was really our mission when we started. Evolving over time, we realized that improving and sharpening and evening those verticals actually provides agents a significant competitive advantage. And therefore, we created a scalable solution. And we decided to partner with carriers and agencies who sell their insurance products through their agents' networks and to the end customers. Using our technology, we scale complete agent networks to become fully digital, and that is happening just in a few days. Basically, we provide the agents a multi-tier solution. We provide them a presence layer, equipping them with a fully branded personal website that is created for them, or a Facebook business page that we use to automatically communicate with their clients on behalf of them. We provide them a full distribution layer, allowing to distribute messaging on many channels, like emails, SMS, social media, messaging platforms in a personal and professional way, while connecting the customers easily to the agent's presence layer. We provide a communication layer that provides video chats, meeting scheduling capabilities that work in a real-time fashion. And we provide a data learning activation layer that we call GQL. It's actually what we call as a genome query language, as we're learning the customer data like a genome and basically acting upon it in the digital world. And this is the entire suite that we provide those agents. The agents do not need to do anything. They become instantly digital and focus on serving their customers. And in this way, insurance carrier can actually digitize their entire network fleet in an easy, compliant, and scalable way. Our results. So we learned and improved over the years, and we're also able to learn from enormous statistical data. The system has evolved to know what works and what does not. We not only suggest to the customers better product based on their entire financial and insurance portfolio, we also wrap it nicely and communicate it on behalf of the agents. As we did that, the digital results of our customers became ×4 better compared to the market standard they were using up till then. And we also ensure that 100% of the agents are doing that with to 100% of their client base. And that is done in a proactive way, so nothing is missed. And this is how we really boost sales, service, and awareness. So in Gefen, we are transforming agents' networks to become data-driven digital networks. And as you saw, we are doing that in a simple, scalable way on behalf of them. Thank you. And thank you all for listening, and Plug and Play for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Tomer, for this great presentation. We don't have any questions this time from the audience. Just a quick reminder that you can ask questions anytime through Zoom. But we just launched the poll to see whether there is interest from our audience to meet you afterwards. So thank you, Tomer, again. Now let's move on to the last startup that will pitch within this first section of our event. Please welcome Spencer, the head of go-to-market at Airkit, which is one of our investment portfolio at Plug and Play. So Spencer, if you're on the line, I will pass it over to you.
I am here. Thank you for the introduction. Let me start my video. Good to meet everybody, and thank you for making the time, and appreciate the invite as well. So very excited to share more on Airkit today. Quick background in terms of what we'll cover in the next 5 minutes is a little bit of the trends and some of the marketplace that we're going after, and then a little bit around how Airkit actually applies within insurance across the entire policyholder customer lifecycle. So just a quick background on Airkit. We were founded actually over 4 years ago now, really focused on this idea of how do we empower enterprises to interact with customers in a new way, and have really found a nice stronghold within insurance, and specifically driving really the entire engagement across that life cycle of the customers. As Daria mentioned, we are part of the portfolio of Plug and Play, but also have over 70 million in funding from Excel, Emergence, and Salesforce Ventures. So excited to share what we are working on today and dive in here into Airkit. Just to kind of set the stage a little bit in terms of some of the trends that we are aligned to, and I think this speaks broadly across the insurance industry of where we've really found a home, is that kind of first and foremost, automation is more top of mind than ever before. How to do more with less, with COVID driving a lot of this. CIOs everywhere are trying to accelerate automation and drive kind of this automated workflow to reduce costs. At the same time, what we're seeing, and really kind of the behind the scenes, is that resource constraints, and specifically around technical resources like engineers, is creating this crunch where while CIOs are asking for more projects to be brought to market, lack of engineering and technical resources in-house make this incredibly difficult. And the last piece, and this is something that we've seen very, very strong as a kind of a trend across the entire insurance industry, is that customer preferences are higher than ever. And they have a kind of a very strong preference around not downloading additional apps, especially in insurance where you engage an app once every 2-3 years potentially, and it's with claims, and also low adoption of traditional portals. And so how do we think of kind of shifting this experience in the insurance industry from, rather than being compared to a MetLife or a Guardian or kind of something like that, being compared against like an Amazon or an Uber or Facebook, and really providing that consumer experience that everybody knows and loves. And so these are the trends that we're seeing, and really they're at the core of what Airkit can do around driving automation, alleviating a lot of that pain and kind of the challenges that come with shortages of technology resources in-house, and ultimately providing a great consumer experience. So Airkit at its core is a customer experience platform that is focused around automation and driving that automation and customer workflows across a seamless experience for web, SMS, email, and voice, and how to create that true omni-channel digital CX in a way that is engaging to your customers. And really kind of the punchline is that we want to do that faster than ever before. And so this is a little bit of quite a bit to take in here. We can definitely share these slides afterwards. But when you think about Airkit, right, we allow you to engage with customers on any channel: SMS, voice, web, chat, email, WhatsApp, QR code, you name it. We allow teams, because we have this drag and drop out of the box builder, which we'll see in a second here, you can bring these experiences to market in a matter of 2-3 days, and ultimately larger experiences in about a third of the time of traditional development. And ultimately, as you think about using a platform and a software as a service platform like Airkit, because we can allow you to create these experiences faster, because it is a managed service on our platform, ultimately you'll have a lower TCO and less long-term costs as well. And so just kind of a quick snapshot here. This is what is behind the scenes is our builder. It's that drag and drop builder, low code, no code type experience. You can create these experiences that are desktop, mobile, but ultimately create it brand and pixel perfect to drive across the entire life cycle. In this experience, we're seeing somebody for quote to bind, uploading information, uploading photos, uploading a signature, whatever it might be. But these are the types of experiences that you can create on Airkit. And so I'll build this out here, but just in terms of where we work across the entire insurance industry, it's everything from the enrollment, distribution, moving people through kind of that initial engagement. We've done this where, you're actually seeing this GIF over here on the left-hand side with MetLife, where we digitized over 250 paper forms that were distributed by brokers, and actually drove down, not in good order, NIGO forms to 0% and increased completion 2x. And we can talk a little bit about how that was possible. On the policy administration side, a lot of focus around how do we remove costs from the contact center? How do we actually empower people to set up things like autopay, change a beneficiary, schedule appointments in an automated way? And ultimately, the other major kind of pillar that we see is claims automation. So everything from deflecting phone calls around like, what is the status of my claim? Have I been paid yet? What are the next steps? All the way to E and digital FNOL. So a lot of these different experiences are kind of built on top of our platform. Just to show an example of that EFNOL and digital experience, right, is this ability to create a claims hub, which is built on the Airkit platform. Omnichannel, it's personalized, it's proactive. It's really that kind of seamless experience that connects into all of your backend systems and uses things like WhatsApp and SMS to move somebody through the journey and ultimately provide a great experience. And the beauty of this, as I mentioned, is it can be built in days rather than months and quarters. And it's all using those core building blocks that we saw just a moment ago. And so kind of when you think about within the insurance industry, we've talked about this a little bit, but it's everything from that enrollment on the P&C side, quote to bind, self-service enrollment, all the way through policy administration, adding riders, being able to update information directly through a kind of experience that is 100% digital, down to claims automation for digital FNOL. And on the life insurance side, we have something very similar, and you'll kind of see a pattern here around enrollment, policy administration, and claims, and filing a claim and automating that journey. So that is kind of the holistic overview of Airkit. We have done this with quite a few number of carriers, with brokers in the past. Everybody from the Fortune 1000s of the world, MetLife, Farmers, Guardian, all the way down to tech startups that are looking to do this for the first time, like Spot Insurance and Roamly. But very, very excited to be here today, and thank you all for the time. And I would recommend, if you do have a moment this afternoon, please do take a look at airkit.com/demos, and you'll actually be able to use some of these experiences that we have on your own. So feel free to take a look there, but thank you very much for the time today.
Dave, thank you very much, Spencer. A very impressive pitch, and thank you again for joining. I know it's quite early for you today. So again, quick reminder, you should have a poll on your screen. Please let us know if you want to get connected to Airkit. And it is no time for us to move to move towards our next part of the event. The use of API as a key tech component for insurance. We start with if we look at the situation today, one of the challenges that insurance are facing is how to acquire and retain customer with limited differentiation. At the same time, insurance customer behavior and expectation are always evolving. The center of interest, expectation, and risk of your customer from today are not the same than the one from yesterday, and will not be the same definitely from the one from tomorrow. At the same time, traditional insurance players have to deal with heavy legacy systems that make it difficult for them to quickly extend the distribution channels and their offering. Because of these three elements, this creates a need for new solutions to improve time to market, develop new channels to reach the customer wherever they are, and access new market or new segments. This is where API come into place to quickly connect insurance players to new innovative party. IPA will connect capacity provider such as insurance or reinsurance with this new digital solution that can answer all of the challenges that I mentioned earlier. In this space, some startups are specializing in developing standardized API to directly connect insurers with new digital channels such as digital or neo insurance, as well as embedded solution and ecosystem. All of this to directly reach the customer with an extended offering and a more tailored offering also. That's why we can say that API act as a key technological block to allow insurers to be more agile, develop their digital channels, and develop their offering. Now let's look at what we have seen in the market. We have identified 5 main usage of API for the insurance market. The first one is to help insurers to quickly transition from offline to online by creating digital version of their insurance products. The second one is to extend their product offering by connecting directly to marketplaces or ecosystem. The third one is also to extend their offering, but this time to beyond insurance services, which will allow them to acquire and retain more customers, as well as differentiating from the competitors. The fourth trend that we have seen, as you could guess, is to decrease time to market. By connecting with new partners, it allows them to develop in a more agile way the products, and business initiative that could take months in the past can now be underway in days. Finally, they can also use API to expand their offering by embedding the solution directly into more customer-facing channels. And we have seen that recently, insurance products are more and more embedded into other transactions. And a nice use case around that was the collaboration between two corporations, Western Union and AXA, where AXA embedded its insurance within Western Union payment services in order to provide more inclusive insurance to migrant workers and their family at home. With all of that being said, I will pass it over again to Daria for our 3 startups on this segment. Daria, you here?
Yes, thank you, Arthur. So now we will have with us the 3 great startups that will give you some insights on how APIs are becoming a new tech component. So let me introduce you to Particeep, the developer of white label solutions for online distribution of insurance products. So Steve, are you on the line?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello,
So,
do you hear me well?
Yeah, we do hear you. Feel free to
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I will share my screen right now. Okay, perfect. So, hello, everybody. I'm Steve Fogg, the co-founder and the CEO of the FinTech Particeep. I'm really glad to be here today to discuss how make it easy to embed financial offerings within digital channels and ecosystems. So first of all, let me introduce particeep with some figures. So the company was created in 2013. We raised more than 4 million euro for our developments, and we are more than 35 people in the teams right now. And what we do is that the company edits no-code and turnkey solution for digital distribution of banking, insurance, and investment products on any kind of channels and any kind of platform. So in a few words, we help banks, insurers, and asset management companies to embed their offering within their own or and distributors channel in less than 1 month and without any IT development. So particeep was created around a kind of strong vision. We strongly believe that any kind of a web or mobile interface will become a digital point of sales for financial products and services. So therefore, we think that the financial institutions, so the banks, the insurance, will become invisible but ubiquitous, and their offering will be embedded within any kind of financial and non-financial platform. So that's why we are contributing to the embedded finance revolution, which we think is the next big fintech revolution. So what is our secret sauce? Our goal on particeep side is to use API technology combined to no-code solution to make it possible embedded of financial product underwriting journey into any platform without any kind of IT development. So to reach this goal, we do 3 things. First of all, we created the digital version of a financial product to retrieve on any platform the same price as the one you can get on site when you do a kind of physical appointment with your advisor. Secondly, we make it simple to edit your own, and we, by using our solution, all the steps for underwriting journey for the underwriting process for financial products and services without any kind of IT support. And at the end, we wrap those digital version of financial product and the underwriting journey into a single line of code. Okay, so this is a solution that is completely no code, and that can be fully customized. And with this line of code, you can just have to copy and paste it into any kind of user interface in order to transform it into a kind of digital point of sales of financial products and services. So what is the really value added of the solution? So first of all, we allow any platform to be a point of sales of financial products and services within 1 day. The second point is that we change completely the paradigm of the market. So we are not talking about leads anymore. So we are in a world where we engage the client directly. And at the end, we create a kind of standardized data sharing process to ease the data management of all the clients' data with the whole ecosystem. So if we want to illustrate that with some kind of use cases, so first of all, on the banking side, for example, we can cite the account opening process or the loans process that are made for many tier 1 banks right here in France. In the insurance side, we have borrower insurance, life insurance, or property and casualty insurance too. And on the investment side, you already have the listed underwriting process or the unlisted investment product underwriting process that can be digitized by using our solution. So thank you for your attention, and feel free to contact me if you have any question.
Merci, Steve. It was a truly great speech. Again, you should have a poll on your screen. Please let us know if you want to get connected with particeep. It will be no time for second startup. So do we have Jordi from Weecover on the line?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. So whenever you want, the floor is yours.
Okay, perfect. So let me share my screen. Okay, so thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce you to Weecover. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jordi Pagès, and CEO and co-founder of Weecover. And we are categorized in the embedded insurance segment. So I've been in the insurance industry for many years, in particular more than 25 years, and heading distribution at local level, country level in Spain, but also in a European basis. And this gave me the opportunity to understand what was lacking in the insurance industry. And basically, insurance industry is for insurers. So there was nothing available in terms of platform and capabilities to sell insurance for non-insurers. So we found out that there were many retailers, many companies, due to the digitization in the market, that were interested in bundling their proposition to include insurance offers and to add the insurance as a value added in their transaction. So what we identified that this was really complex. No platforms available. It was really costly and painful, and there was a very complex regulation to comply with. And this required also a one-to-one negotiation, looking for the right insurer for the right product. So what we developed, basically, we simplified. We connected all the insurers in our platform, and we are now capable to facilitate, based on our technology and the insurance expertise, the possibility for any channel partner, for any company, for any retailer, for any e-commerce platform, the possibility to include the insurance offer at the right moment, at the right time. So this is what we call really the embedded insurance, making it easier. So we have built up an expert team that is combining insurance expertise, digital capabilities, that we are supporting the whole delivery of the plug-and-play proposition that we are offering. So in fact, we are also introducing the insurance product, not only the technology, it's a no-code technology, which means that for any channel partner that they would like to include any kind of insurance offer, this would be a question of just weeks, without again going through a painful process of understanding the deepest knowledge of the products. So why is it interesting for anyone to sell insurance? So insurance is an additional source of revenue. Of course, it's not only adding revenue, it's also completing the offering of any company in the B2B2C world. And it's also enhancing the user experience. So there are many transactions, many services where the customer is requesting for and is asking for the possibility to purchase the insurance at the right time. So this is what we are really facilitating in this plug-and-play proposition. So we take care of everything. This is not only about technology. So as I said, we bring the right products for the right partner. So if you are in the neo-bank industry or in the fintech industry, we are selecting the best household insurance products, the best life insurance products, the best PPI products. If you are in the mobility space, we work with e-scooters and bicycle insurances. If you are in the PropTech industry, we are providing also rental protection. So we are selecting the different insurance covers based on the industry you are working with. We are also providing the seamless customer experience as well, and the technology, as I said, with no-code implementation. So the technology is fully connectable, it's API first, so it has the capability to be so flexible that we can select in any kind of integration which are the modules that we will implement. So we can implement payment gateway, we can implement e-customer wallet, we can implement administrator. So it depends on the kind of capabilities the channel partner wants to count with, but it's fully reliable, it's complying with the regulation, and we are also providing this kind of capabilities as well. It's fully omnichannel, so the same technology supports any kind of sale using the different channels of the retailers. We have set the integration in less than 4 weeks. So maximum, it may take 4 weeks, including testing. So we are taking all the customer requests, and we are then providing the possibility to do it in a very short term. So we take care also at the minimum detail. So we provide the legal information. We provide also the analytics about what is happening in the platform, which are the metrics that we can provide to the channel partner as well. And as I said, any channel partner will have the administrator and also the possibility to have the e-customer where any customer can download and get the information and the data related to their policies. So fully omni-channel, same technology applies for e-commerce, for stores, and for call center capabilities as well. So we can join the different possibilities of distribution that the channel partner may have. And as I said, this is not a vertical single product. This is a multi-product platform. So we can provide multi-product for any kind of business, selecting which is the best product in any case that really fits with the core business of the channel partner. Also, this is a multi-company and multi-country. In fact, in this moment, we have integrated more than 15 companies in the platform, and we may work in different geographies as this is a technology that applies in a cross-country basis, and also as we are operating as a broker regulated to operate across Europe. So we are also complying with the legal schemes. We are helping and supporting the channel partner in this legal environment, which is sometimes complex to understand, which is the best way to comply with. So finally, we were rewarded in the South Summit event in 2021 as the top insurtech in the category of fintech and insurtech, and also as the most scalable startup in 2021 out of a number of 4,000 startups that compete at that time. And I must say as well that we have already many channel partners that have trusted us, large firms like FNAC, like SEAT, like Conto, like Walloren, Fintonic, and so on, that are trusting Weecover to provide these kind of solutions and to provide the embedded insurance approach for the end customers. So this is what I wanted to tell you. So thanks very much for your time. Thanks very much for inviting me, and happy to discuss with any of you that have interest in knowing more about Weecover.
Thank you so much, Jordi, for this knowledge you share with us and for presenting Weecover, which is also one of our portfolio startup. Also this time, please let us know if you're interested to meet Weecover through the poll that should be on your screen right now. And we will now heading up to the third and last startup pitching within this section. So please welcome Esben, Business Development Director of Penni.io, which is one of the pioneer of embedded insurance solutions, which is also part of our current InsurTech batch. So Esben, are you ready?
I hope so. Can you hear me? See the screen? Yeah. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything okay. We can see the screen.
Perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Esben Seifert. I come from the company called Penni.io. We deliver the embedded insurance distribution platform called Penni Connect. So let's start off with what is embedded insurance. Well, embedded insurance is nothing new. It's B2B2C distribution. It's been in the insurance industry for many, many years. Nothing new there. The digital part, that's the new part. That's the thing that's really, really interesting. There's a huge market opportunity at the moment because customers are engaging themselves more and more with digitally with their B2C channels. That'd be real estate, car, e-commerce, whatever you name. Customers are there, they're researching online, they're trying to figure out what to buy online. And here is the opportunity for insurers to piggyback on any of these agents and start increasing your revenue. How do you increase your revenue? You sell insurance. At what price do you sell your insurance? At the same price as your agent. What's then the advantage? You are increasing your sales and you're decreasing your acquisition costs. That's why embedded insurance is the future. This is not disruption. We're just developing your omni-channel distribution. This will coexist with your agents, with your broker distribution. Any of one side, embedded insurance will live. Penni.io is a technology company. We're 100% focused on embedded insurance. We should probably say digital embedded insurance. We should probably say digital embedded distribution because we do not do anything else than the distribution part. We're founded by myself and my colleagues are all from the industry. Our founders have strong knowledge from the industry as well. We'll come back to that later on. We've defined 3 strategies for embedded insurance. We have the bundle strategy. This is known as an all-inclusive. You buy a travel and you get included a travel insurance. You buy a car, you get a car finance and a car service and a car insurance. In this strategy, insurance is hidden away, a bit like ipitQ, I think that I was mentioning in the beginning. The linked, every time you purchase a good, a service, you are prompted to buy an insurance. So you're selling at a point of sales. And then what we call the golden egg, the related, changing the marketing channel into a sales channel, starting to sell at non-point of sales. That's where the interesting stuff happens. The last 3 years, we've been live with Penni Connect. We've seen 5 barriers to embedded insurance. The obvious is, how do we integrate to third-party sites? We solved that in Penni Connect. Lack of knowledge of online sales. People have been getting bad advice from marketing advisors, telling them to reduce their prices, not understanding customer behavior. We solved that in Penni Connect. Integrating to core systems. We have over 20 years of knowledge of integration to core systems. There's all the legal IDD that Weecover also were talking about. Very, very key point. We've solved that in Penni Connect. And then the key point as well, internal teams and coordinations. With the Penni team, the Penni Connect, you get digital sales capabilities, you get marketing, you get IT, you get conversion. In the Connect, we've built in, it's industry tailored. We only support the insurance industry, so we easily integrate this with your existing IT systems. The newest ones, if it's Guidewire or Sapiens, we're happy to do, but also more older versions. You can start selling in less than a month. I think our quickest one was 9 days. We do allow extra time for more complex products like motor or home. We have out-of-the-box templates on our customer journeys. They're built by behavioral scientists. One of our good colleagues has spent the last 13 years of his life nerding around and understanding how customers engage with insurance online. We put that into the platform. It's scalable. It's white label. You get a JavaScript. It takes the last partner took them 42 minutes to start selling, and they're selling. And the same JavaScript, you copy paste it to a new partner. This is the only insurance channel in distribution that can decrease cost on scale. You will not find that in your agents. You'll not find it in your brokers. This will reduce your cost of sales. And everything is about data. We're in the game for conversion. You get insights for every step of the way. Lovely, beautiful sites. We've been around for 3 years. We're trusted by the industry. We're obviously compliant or secure. Otherwise, we couldn't work with you guys. Some great brands, 2 more on the way, which we'll disclose soon. We're mainly focused on non-life personal lines. We have done some SME. I'm agreeing with you, Andrew. There is some great possibilities in the SME space. Not there yet fully on the embedded, but personal lines, we're 100% there. Great case here for Danske Bank, one of the biggest banks in Denmark. We did bank insurance with Ritwik, one of the biggest insurers in Denmark. We went live on 1 day after compliance. You do need a compliance process. Everly, a linked embedment on e-commerce. 30 minutes and they want to Shopify, they're starting to sell, no developer resources needed. And yesterday, a good friend of ours from Ritwik decided to share on LinkedIn. We've raised their sales 60% thanks to good teamwork with the insurer and our team. Absolutely love the result. Thank you very much, Julie, for sharing it. What does the collaboration look like? We start off by finding out what is your product, what is your IT system. We build the business case, you can make a decision. This is a team, the tech wizard is Lassie, he's absolutely amazing. Simon knows what he's talking about. I'll try and drive the chase. These are our founders, our CSOs, and Nessa's great experience with insurance distribution. My time is up. We're Penni.io. We're looking for client relationships. We're interested in developing your omni-channel distribution model. Love to hear from you.
Thank you, Esben. It was great pitch. Always happy to have you here, and thank you for being that dynamic and engaging. So you will also have a poll now. I have to tell you that we are running slightly behind, but we still have like 2 great startups coming up in the next session. So please bear with us till the end. So now I will pass it over to Daria that will introduce you the last section of this event.
Yes. Daria? Yes, I'm here. So thank you, Arthur. So now we are heading up to the 3rd and last section of this event that has to do with new digital channels that are required to reach customers that are currently evolving their expectations and changing their behavior. So as most of you probably already know, established insurance players have already started relying on alternative distribution channels in order to expand their reach. And indeed, customer needs and expectations are evolving year by year, especially after COVID-19 pandemic, as you probably have noticed, which required an increase in digitalization. However, we also have to highlight that it has been demonstrated that digital-only customers give their insurers lower loyalty scores compared to customers that connect with insurers both online and offline. This was also mentioned earlier from our two panelists in the Fireside chat. So human interactions are still easier and more personalized. And accordingly, insurers are looking for ways to increasingly use digital channels, but at the same time also trying to show that the digital channels can be easy and personalized as human interactions. So as customer expectations are evolving continuously, we have identified some main new drivers of customer acquisitions. So first of all, insurers need to provide easy to understand products to boost confidence, finding ways to make customers understand what is covered by a specific insurance product. At the same time, customers should also be able to compare increasingly small differences between different insurance policies. And this usually requires interactions with humans or even advanced CRM tools. Moreover, customers' expectations are shifting more toward personalization, and insurers need to provide new digital tools and technologies that propose coverages which are specifically tailored to single customers. And lastly, we have increasing data privacy concerns, and in that regard, insurers need a way to assure data privacy through transparency and effective communication. In the case of commercial business lines, the key drivers of customer acquisitions are optimization of risk assessment, because insurers need to identify underinsured areas and gaps in coverage in order to identify risk areas and mitigate risks. At the same time, insurance also need to provide services that ensure and also make clear that clients are not paying for unnecessary coverage. And in that regard, building a relationship of trust becomes essential. And lastly, customers are increasingly putting an emphasis on the insurance ability to navigate through a variety of options and also being updated on the latest insurance products and also latest insurance trends. So as a use case for this third subsection, we proposed a partnership between Weecover and Aon. So Weecover is collaborating with Aon on a cyber risk modeling reinsurance solution, which is designed to support the growing demand for data-driven insights on cyber risks for specifically corporate clients. So going ahead on the solutions we have seen in the market, so we have seen an evolution of traditional brokers and MGAs along on one side the need to adapt to the emergence of marketplaces and new digital channels, but also still making customers able to perceive the human being behind. Then multi-channel funnels that include the provision of digital apps to have a more direct interaction with clients, and at the same time also simplifying the understandability of the offered products. Services also need to be more and more personalized, and this can be done by finding tools to listen to the different needs of customers, and this can also allow insurers to differentiate from competitors. And finally, customers are looking for solutions that meet their needs and their terms in the speediest way as possible. And this can be done through new products offerings such as parametric and on-demand insurance. So now we will have our last two pitches for today. Let's start with PlusSimple, which is a digital insurance broker which is dedicated to self-employed and micro businesses. So I'll hand it over to Ambroise, PlusSimple co-founder. Are you there, Ambroise?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Taria. So yeah, I'm not a co-founder, unfortunately. I would have loved to found this company, but I'm so Ambroise Farger, in charge of international business at PlusSimple. Actually, I'm quite used to the plug and play ecosystem. I was there 3 years ago in the batch 2 Munich insurtech, and I can see Xenia is still there, Matteo is still there, and the team is growing. So congratulations, guys, and thank you for your invitation. There are many people here I know and in the participants, so also people that look, they have very interesting profiles, so don't hesitate to connect just after the event. So PlusSimple, we are basically speaking an insurance agent. So it's quite easy to understand. We are an insurance intermediary. We are focusing on professional and small business insurance. That's all. We are based in France. We launched our service for the first time 5 years ago in 2016. And now we make 1/3 of our revenue abroad. So we're in France, obviously, but we bought 2 companies, 2 agents.
Sorry to interrupt. You do have a presentation ready, right? Can you share?
I'm fine. No, if that's okay, I can continue without the slides. If that's okay with you. Yeah. I mean, okay, so I was saying we are in Italy. We bought 2 companies there, 2 agents. And recently, last year, we entered the German market by buying a company named Ritwik, German assekurador, so also an insurance agent. And we will be launching in Spain during the first semester of 2022. So in terms of figure, PlusSimple, it's about 100 million euro premiums. We have about 80,000 customers, and we have a recurring commission revenue of 20 million euro last year. In terms of financing, we raised about 30 million euro of venture capital money. We built our platform during the first few years, and now we are profitable, so we are self-financing our growth. And the ambition of PlusSimple is to become the reference platform in Europe for small business insurance. So I will tell you a few things about the different teams that were raised during this conference. First was, how do you use tech to reach your customers? So we are an insurance agent. We believe that commercial insurance is not adapted for a direct approach, maybe except for very small commodity products like professional indemnity for very simple professions. But we think that the best products in the market, the most sought after and complex insurance solutions, they are typically reserved to specialized carriers and specialized brokers, right? So our conviction is that we should use technology to simplify the underwriting and make these super nice products accessible to all kinds of insurance intermediaries, not only the specialized sophisticated ones, but to small brokers, to bank advisors, to small affinity groups. And this is how we use technology to unlock new distribution channels. So what we do is building binding authorities, delegations with large composite insurers or specialized insurers. And then we help them unlock larger distribution opportunities by focusing first on the traditional networks. And I mean, that was said before by my colleague from Penni.io, Mr. Sorensen. I mean, embedded insurance is not new, and the first network of embedded insurance is the brokers. So what we are doing first is helping brokers, typically not with APIs, with our own platform, but when we are talking to different types of distribution networks like banks, or sharing economy platforms, or this kind of networks, here APIs are very useful to relocate our underwriting journey, our transaction services, and our reporting services, obviously, to both our distributors and our insurance partners. And finally, how do we, because this is the category, how do we enhance the sales force? So obviously there is the part where we cut the administrative burden for our brokers. We help them reduce the paperwork, make the transaction simpler, help the customers get access to their data and information and contracts. But I think the most important part about helping the distribution is to help them know their customer better. And we do a lot of prior work in marketing for each customer segment that we address. We make some qualitative and quantitative studies, a bit like a retail group for consumer goods, to understand really the preoccupation and needs of our customer segments, create content around this, and then deliver this content in a very simple and pedagogical form to our distributors, how to sell an insurance to an accountant, how to talk to a garage owner, etc., in order to help them through the use of our tools to improve their sales. In terms of business, I know there are many insurance companies here in Plug and Play. So one of the many use cases we could develop together is a portfolio transfer or portfolio delegation. 2 years ago, for instance, QBE, the Australian P&C insurer, delegated us their entire specialized profession PI portfolio, so accountants, real estate agents, and insurance brokers, for us to manage and to interact with their brokers and to renew their contracts. And so we make their combined ratio improve by 10 points just by cutting the admin expense, just to give you an idea of how technology can improve expense ratio in this type of risks. And we even think we can go much further by leveraging data to improve the underwriting itself and better select the risks. So happy to connect, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you, Ambroise. A very comprehensive presentation. We are not reaching our last startup of the day, so I would like to welcome Alvaro from Cleverea. No, are you on the line?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. You can present your screen.
Just a second, please. So first of all, thank you very much to Plug and Play for having us here today, and thank you very much to all of you who are currently present. So we are Cleverea. We come from Spain, and we define ourselves as a multi-line neo-insurer for the digital native. So when we say we are multi-line, just a second, apologies. We mean by that we design, develop, underwrite, and distribute multiple insurance products, from mobility to home to travel, etc. We're a new insurer as we operate as a managing general agent. We like to handle most of the value chain, or at least have the unique control of the products we develop. And of course, being digital, we have a very target market. Here's what insurance looks like to us. So highly convenient, trustworthy, and human-powered. We give our customers fast, clean, and simple quote and buy flows, where they can customize their insurance, the coverages, limits, billing plans, payment methods, etc., all with a very nice looking kind of UI and UX. We also give every single one of our customers an informative and transactional user dashboard, again, that they can access for any device, where they can access all their insurance policies with us, and where they can act upon those policies. And to the extent possible, we also try and like to digitalize the claims experience by making unique and simple products. We can have simple and kind of easy to follow claims flow. So our vision is to become the one-stop shop for insurance for European digital natives. As I was telling you, we are in the process of building a multi-line player, and this is constantly evolving. So we always think about our portfolio in terms of length and depth, and so we always tackle different verticals: be it travel, mobility, home, personal belongings, life. And within each vertical, we have multiple products, and even within those products, we can, if you go to kick scooters, for example, you can have kind of unique use cases. So kick scooters for riders, kick scooters for individuals, then you can have a shared mobility that we also do, etc., etc. As you see, some of our products are live, some are work in progress, and some will be launched throughout this year and the next one. We like to take a holistic approach to distribution, and as such, thanks to being ourselves the one creating that technology, we serve B2C, B2B2C, including brokers and agents, and B2B markets. So we do direct to consumer, we do business to business through all our products, and then we partner with B2B2C companies, be it insurance companies, be it fintech companies, or specifically within a single market, We can go to real estate agents, to motorbike dealers, etc., etc. This is just an example of the things we kind of develop. So we have our own dashboards for claims. We have our own reporting tools for insurance companies. We have our B2B and our B2B2C tools that we give our partners, etc. We rely on a robust and capital efficient model. So we like to take control of most of the value chain. So we very much get involved or get our hands dirty in the pricing and underwriting and design of the insurance product. We actually kind of write down our own policy wordings. So we very much like to be in control. We handle the claims process, etc. The team behind Cleverea, this is not updated, but as of today, I think we're 32 people. We started in June 2019, and thank God we're growing. We've got a bunch of very helpful investors and advisors, and I think that's it. So I would like to thank you all very much for your time and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for this last pitch. I believe it perfectly concludes the startup pitches for the day. Our last poll for introductions should just have appeared on the screen. So Alvaro, I will let you know after the event if someone from the audience would like to know more about Cleverea. Thank you. So we have come to the conclusion of our event. I hope you have enjoyed the Fireside chat and the great startup pitches we had the pleasure of having today. Looking forward to proceed with the introductions between you and the startups you would like to meet. Just a quick overview of the next events that will be hosted by Plug and Play in the next few days. So we will host the Found Her event on the 1st of February. Which is an initiative created by Plug and Play to better support female founders, corporate partners, and investors, with the final aim of building a global network of mentors and entrepreneurs. Moreover, we will host our Winter Summit here in Munich on the 2nd and 3rd of February, and we will have some stellar startups from all of our 3 verticals. So I hope to see you guys again there, and thank you so much for being with us today. Have a great and happy end of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying with us till the end. I think we had a blast with Daya moderating this event, and we really wish to get in touch as soon as possible. Thank you all.